So in this video, you're gonna find out 5 factors that impact the price of a home. So first off, we're gonna start with the current market. What do I mean by the current market? I'm talking about, are you currently in a buyer's or seller's market? That is always going to affect the value of a home. Because think about it, if you're in a buyer's market, meaning that the market favors the buyers, the prices of homes are definitely gonna come down. If you're in a seller's market, demand is up on the buyer side. So that means that the price of your home is definitely gonna increase. The next factor is gonna be your square footage. A lot of people like to compare 2 similar styles of homes, but one of them has a lot bigger square footage than the other one. You gotta be realistic here. The home that has a bigger square footage is most of the time going to be more expensive than a home that has a smaller square footage. You can argue like finishes, neighborhood, location, all those things, but let's try to compare apples to apples, or I guess in this situation, apples to oranges, or maybe one apple to a different kind of apple, because they're similar, they're the same style of home. Let's pretend for this example, they're in very similar neighborhoods. The biggest factor here is one's just a lot bigger. This is where price per square foot comes into play. Some markets use price per square foot more than others, but I always say that sometimes when you're looking at 2 very comparable properties like this is when price per square foot comes into play. So the next factor is going to be condition, aka also renovation. If one home is a lot more modern than another home, the value is definitely going to increase. This one is probably my trickiest factor of all, because finishes of a home are very subjective. Some people like certain things and others don't. So sometimes I see homeowners make a lot of renovations, but they don't exactly make renovations that the market cares about. And therefore, they don't get a return on the investment like they expected to, because they were renovating things that the market didn't even care about. They were wasting their time, and more importantly, they were wasting their money. This is why I always say that I don't actually like people to over renovate, or really sometimes even make renovations at all, because I don't want to see them lose money when trying to sell their home. I am all about renovating a home when it's for you personally, or if you're doing a investment property like flip, that's a very different scenario. But if you're renovating your own home that you personally live in, you gotta be very careful, because you can end up spending a lot of money on renovations where you just don't get the ROI. If a home is extremely outdated, let's just say I'm filming this video in the year of 2023. Let's pretend that this property that I'm talking about has not been updated at all since 1971, okay? Let's just use that year as an example. So let's just say a similar home to that one was renovated in 2013 versus 1971, right? It's very obvious that that home that was renovated in 2013 versus the 1971 is going to be more valuable if all the other factors are basically the same. You don't need to watch a video to tell you that, right? The condition of your home is definitely gonna play a factor here, for sure. This also brings me to comparable properties. When selling a home, knowing what homes recently sold that are comparable to yours is so important. And there are so many homeowners that have absolutely no idea what's even going on in their market with similar homes. And this sets them up for disaster, because if you don't know what's going on in the market, how can you know how to properly price and market your home when you're trying to sell? So when I'm looking at comparable properties when selling a home, I share as much information as I can with the homeowner. And that's because I want them to know what's going on in the market, so that we can look at what these other very comparable homes are selling for. Because if they got a certain price, you're most likely going to get the same price as well. The other factor here is going to be days on market. This one only comes into play when you're currently on the market, because what days on market means is how many days has your home been on the market. Think about it. If a home has been on the market for less than 7 days, meaning it's a new listing, how exciting is that to a buyer versus a home that's been on the market for 180 plus days? Night and day, right? Is that buyer going to be excited about the 180-day home, or the one that's been on the market for less than 7 days that they haven't seen yet? Probably the 7-day one versus 180 days. That's just how human psychology works. If a buyer sees a home sitting on the market for a long time, they think, okay, wait, what's wrong with this property? Everybody does it. And the same situation with really just buying anything in life or making decisions on anything in life. And if you're watching this video, I know if you were purchasing a home, you would think the same exact thing about those different days on markets. This is why I always say that the first 2 weeks on the market is so crucial, because that is when you're going to get the most interest, the most eyeballs on the home. You have to come out of the gate really strong. So those are 5 factors that are definitely going to impact the price of your home. So I would love to know what factors here have impacted your personal home the most, or do you have any questions on anything else that you think might impact the price of your home? As always, I just love hearing from you guys.